I knew I had the problem earlier on, around when I was like 12, 13 years old. My father was a heroin addict at the time, well, all his life that I'd known him. I started drinking at the age of probably 11 or 12. Um, and most of my friends were drinking at that time. I drank all the time, probably at the age of 14, 15 years old. Started selling cocaine. Then someone gave me heroin instead of cocaine and kind of looked the same, and I started snorting that. And I didn't want to because that's something that my father did, and I knew how it made him look, and I said I wouldn't do that. Ended up snorting it anyway. Then crack cocaine, of course, came out, and I was selling that, and then, of course, started smoking that, which was my kryptonite. It wasn't the first time I smoked it. It wasn't the second time. It was just one time it hit me, and I knew, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I knew I had a problem. I always told myself I would stop when I was ready. And when I was ready, I got scared because I couldn't stop. It seemed like the disease got stronger when I made that decision to stop. And the emotions really came out real all over the place. Because I was such an angry person and so closed off, and so I had this wall up that was so big and so tall, and it was all around me. I showed no emotion, no feelings. And luckily I had people around me that told me, identify the feeling, talk about the feeling, and let it go. And that took time going through all the feelings. And if I didn't have people around me that knew what I was going through, I probably would have went back out because those feelings were so strong. And so long I was going through it, and letting those walls down and allowing people in my life and sharing openly and honest about what I was feeling, which was something I never did with anybody. And so that was the beginning of me becoming the real me, as my mother would say. The man I raised. She didn't like the person I had became as I was growing up because that's not the one she raised. And seeing how I had started to turn out, she really got scared. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. We moved from what today would be considered a bad neighborhood, all black, and we moved to Maryland when I was 11, 10 or 11, I think 11. We moved to Maryland, which was predominantly white. And it was just me and my brother and I believe 3 other black people in the whole school. So that was a culture shock there for us, being called names we never heard before, being treated in ways we weren't treated before, and was not raised to talk or be that way. And so we had to adjust to that. And then we moved from that environment back to the Washington, D.C. area because we weren't happy there. And that's when things got worse. I went into the military, went into the Marine Corps at 17, graduated high school, went into the Marine Corps, and thought that would fix me. I said, I need to get away from these people, this area, this whole idea of what I've been doing. I know where I'm going, and it's not good. I got in the military and just found the same type of people. Started doing the same thing, selling drugs, drinking like crazy. Was asked to leave the military because of the things I was doing. Got into a lot of trouble, but I got an honorable discharge. I didn't want to leave because that was one of my dreams as a child, was to be a Marine. And then I came home and realized I'd really screwed up because my dream was gone now. And I felt like a failure from then on. I put myself in a lot of bad situations, did a lot of bad things that I normally wouldn't do, hurt a lot of people, but didn't care. As my cocaine habit got worse, got married, thought that would cure me. Had a child on the way, thought that would cure me. Things got worse. Still, I held down the job the whole time. Made good money then. My wife at the time, she noticed something was wrong. Her mother was in the process of building a new home in Ocala and asked us, did we want to buy her home? I jumped on it. I said, let's go. I'd never been to Florida a day in my life, but I knew it was a way out. So we took that opportunity and we moved to Ocala. It got worse. Got to Ocala, started doing some of the same things I was doing in Washington, D.C., but to a higher degree. Was holding down 2 jobs, making good money, trying to take care of my family, but obviously smoking most of it up, using it in wrong ways. Got arrested for armed robbery. They pleaded it down, but I was looking at 15 years. I thought that would cure me. We hired a lawyer who was one of the best lawyers I guess I could have got because I did no time. I walked out of that courtroom with 8 years probation, no time served. I walked out of there feeling good and ready to go, went out not even a month later, did the same thing. And I got shot at one night, well, more than one night, but this one night, this guy shot up the car. He shot the car probably about 5 or 6 times. As I was driving off, he shot 2 bullets in the back of the car through the trunk, through the back seat, to the front seat. On the passenger side, it went straight through the passenger seat into the dashboard. On my side, it stopped in the back of my seat. And the police finally pulled me over and pulled me out of the car. And they allowed me to go home that night. And the lady's crying, the officer, she's crying. And when she comes back, she goes, I'm gonna let you go because obviously God's got more for you and I don't want to send you to jail. You have not a scratch on you. You have these bullet holes back here. You tell me why this bullet stopped. There's nothing stopping this bullet. It went through this side, but it stopped in the back of your seat. And she says, God has his hands all over you. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not a God person, especially at that time. I didn't want to hear none of that. But there's a lot of different things that happened to me during my drug addiction that there's no reason why I'm still here other than God had other plans. People always say, oh, I shouldn't be here. Yes, I should. Yes, I should. I'm supposed to be here. I'd been getting help in between time when I came to Ocala. I've never heard of any of the places that were introduced to me through probation, 12-step programs, counseling, outpatient services. So I had been getting help, but just not using it. I'm lying the whole time. I'm not really wanting it. So what got me is when my wife, I come home one day after a bender, and she said, you can go. I'm done. We have 3 kids, house and everything, and she's like, I'm done. I don't want to be the one to identify your body. And she asked me to leave. And I'm like, fine. I'll go to my mother's house and figure I'll stay there a few days, come back. When I came back, she had changed all the locks. That was a real eye-opener to me because I never thought that woman would do that to me. So that blew me away. So I left. I'm at the point in my life that I'm scared and I want to stop. And that's when it got worse. And when it really hit me is when I was trying to get high one day and nothing worked. All the alcohol, all the marijuana, all the crack cocaine, I did in a matter of minutes, and I was sitting there going, uh-oh. I'm about to graduate to something else that I swore I would never do, which was stick a needle in my arm. And it scared me. So I was sitting in a park, and I said to myself and whoever I thought was God, and I said, okay, I got to make a decision. Either I'm going to continue on this path, and if I continue on this path, I'm going all the way. I'm not turning back. I'm going full speed ahead, or I'm going to get some help. And I walked back. I was staying at my mother's house. I walked back and I found a check in the mailbox from one of the jobs I'd been working. I go in the house to get my keys, and the phone rings. I had been reaching out to a bunch of different treatment facilities, and they called me and said, are you ready to come in? And I said, who? What? And they said, are you ready? Are you done? And I'm like, oh, God. And I'm sitting here with this check in my hand, and my mother pulled up. And I got off the phone and told her what was going on, and being my mother, she said, you don't need that place. You just need Jesus. And I said, you know what, Ma, you're right. I do need Jesus, but it's going to take 12 steps for me to get to him. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. I'd been through treatment before, 30 days, 60 days. This program was a year, and that's what I've been asking for, a long-term program. I told myself, I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about 12 steps. I'm going to be an open book and do whatever these people tell me to do. And I said, I'm not leaving here until you all kick me out. And that's what I told myself. And basically what I did was go back to, in my mind, back to my basic training when I was in boot camp. And I kept that mindset. Do what you're told, ask no questions. And that's it. And that's what I did. And I stayed. It's probably 3 months into the treatment that I was in when I stopped thinking about getting high every day. And one day I woke up and we were in group, and the guys noticed it before I did. They were all looking at me laughing and smiling, and I'm going, what's so funny? And the counselor walked in and he sat down and he went, whoa. And I'm like, well, what are y'all talking about? They were like, you're not jonesing today. And after that group, when we walked out, I think that's when I gave the realest smile I've ever given in a long time. And I felt like somebody had taken the weight off of me. And then I knew that this can be done. I never believed that I would be able to get clean and stay clean. But that day I knew there's a chance. I said, here's your chance. Don't mess it up. One of the things that was told to me was to pray. Just pray. And that's what I did every day. And it's still my same prayer. And I prayed for God to take away the thought, the taste, and the smell of drugs and alcohol from my body, mind, and soul. But what gave me that hope is that I trusted someone else. I did with someone else who had been through what I've been through and told me, try this. You tried everything else, why not try this? You'd smoke anything anybody give you. You snort anything anybody give you. They told you it was going to get you high. You did that. So why not trust someone who's been through what you're going through and try what they did? Might not work for you, but who knows? So that's what I would say to someone who was in my shoes. Try something different. They say we're not supposed to, dwell on our past, but we're not supposed to forget it either. And I don't forget my past. It reminds me of where I came from and where I don't want to be. It gives me strength to move forward because I look back on some of the things and some of the places I've been and done, and I'm like, if I can make it through that, anything that's in front of me today is nothing. You just have to have a little faith, have people in your life that you can talk to and help walk you through it. You know, you have to use people that are like-minded as yourself to help you walk through it. We can't do this by ourselves. I can't do this by myself. That was the hardest thing for me to, being a Marine, growing up, running the streets, you do it yourself. You rely on nobody. No, I need help. I think of it this way because I think what I'm going through is a spiritual battle, and I believe the devil doesn't play fair. Why should I? Why should you? Why should you? I believe you have to have a God in your life of some kind. It doesn't have to be your mother's God, your father's God. It has to be a God, someone bigger, stronger, loving, and caring that can help you. And I'm not a religious person, but I'm definitely a spiritual person. But with help, you can do anything. I believe I can do anything. And I've been through a lot clean. And I just look back on it and smile today because I'm like, that was nothing, And it always turns out for my good. Even if I make a mistake, and I've made a lot of them, but I haven't gotten high in 30 years.